everybody. I'm going to keep letting people in. As you guys know, we meet here Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. Eastern. We go through how to build a business with you. So on Tuesdays, our free call, we talk about like abundant mom path to success. Right now, we're doing a 90-day Become Her challenge of becoming your best self. So different practices that we do on a regular daily basis. We just come together as a bunch of moms and women that are like-minded, that want to be with our children and our families and prioritize that, but also dream big and follow our purpose and follow our calling and honor God all throughout the process. So we are so excited that you are here. Thursdays, we have all of our different experts that rotate. That rotate all throughout our Abundant Money program. So Abundant Money is one of our paid course programs that we have. And it's like, I think Samia is like I think it's over 30 hours of content where we take you through. We have so many different courses that you can take, from the AI Mom, where I teach you how to automate your mom life and business. We have the Mom Business Blueprint, where I teach you how to build a Shopify store. We have Viral Playbook by Alexia, who's gone from 2,500 to close to 500,000 followers in less than 6 months. We have Samia Pedalino's Creating Generational Wealth and Building a Legacy. She, as you guys know, and I will get into even further, but Samia is actually the first course that we hosted on Abundant Academy. And it
Was I really? That's so fun.
Other than mine, yeah. And it came through a podcast. And I actually know Samia because her brother manages our money and has managed my husband's money for decades. Samia actually used to manage my husband's money. And he says, still to this day, Samia was the one that kept me on because I thought she was fun and cool to talk to. So like, I don't told you that, but literally he used to say, like, you break down money. So no matter like the tax bracket that you're in, money can be overwhelming and hard to talk about. And so like when you can talk to somebody that can break it down and has been there and like understands the differences in how difficult it can be and different things that you can do to hit your income goals, it's nice to like actually like talk to a normal human being as opposed to somebody that's super intimidating and like a crypto bro that my husband's trying to become. Don't even get me started. Sammy is looking at me like that is not on brand. We are not doing that. So Samia is one of, like, she has a 4-module course on Abundant Money, and she has been kind enough that she's actually put it in Abundant Money. So when you buy Abundant Money, you get hers and all of our other courses. Originally, her course was going to be sold for, I think you had it priced at like $597, and you brought it down because really it costs like $15,000 to create, and it was like, it's huge value. She takes you through all of the ways to break down your budget, all of the ways to like invest, your money mindset, and how to do it all from a biblical standpoint and biblical principles.
Yeah.
So you know that what you're doing is like solid and true and backed by experience, but also backed by the Bible. So we teach all of that in Abundant Money. And on Thursdays, our paid coaching calls for $47 a month, like the most affordable thing you can have. Our paid coaching calls are a time that all of our experts rotate in and out. So we're going to take you through for the next 90 days, all of our Business in a Box clients. You guys are our VIP. You have our Business in a Box. If you haven't already, it's just an extension of Abundant Money, where Shannon Cairns comes in and she takes you through how to build a digital business. She gives you all of her $2.8 million digital product business templates. And we are holding your hand through this online business process and building yourself. And so today, Samia is going to be teaching us all about LLC formations, business buildings, the fundamentals of what you should be doing when it comes to business. Because what we've been hearing a lot, especially in our 90 minutes and our strategy sessions, is have all of these big dreams. And a lot of our moms believe in themselves as they should, which is amazing, but they're a little bit overwhelmed with like, well, where do I start? Or like, okay, I have these big visions. I've built my business spot. I've done the work. Now I'm like, how do I get there? How do I actually create the business and build upon itself? And how much do I invest in this business? Right. So like understanding, hey, I've spent X, Y, and Z money. I'm not seeing the return yet. I'm not this, like certain things kind of get a little bit concerning. And you're like, should I outsource here? Should I invest here? Right. So understanding from a business mind and standpoint, because in addition to being a money manager who used to have her series 7, she's also an author. She's written Money Mindset. Samia has also been an entrepreneur herself. So she's started and succeeded in multiple businesses and in real estate. So she understands from a personal standpoint too, of like, okay, this is what I should invest. She's currently in a building phase with Lino Cosmetics. She just launched a skincare line with her husband. Like that, talk about like balls. I'm sorry, but that takes so much God and grit, like my whole thing, to be able to launch a product that because she needed it, but to just bet it all on herself and to go in business with her husband, I think is the biggest risk. I know I'm just kidding. Working with your spouse. Rob and I do that, and it's definitely interesting. But anyways, she is going to be like, she's lived it and walked it. So she's helping us through really the fundamentals and dynamics of abundant, of how to build your business. So for those that didn't know, I wanted to give a little bit of a breakdown and run through of what Abundant Academy is, what we do here every week. We have those experts rotating, Samia being one of them this week. And I'm just so excited. So that is our spiel. I'll talk more later. I am going to be getting my notes out because I want to listen to. So Samia is also our fractional CFO. Let me see. She's also selling my house. She's just basically my second hand on everything. And
I'm her finance person.
She's my finance person. She runs my life and my friend.
Yes, I am her friend.
So I am so excited for you guys to hear from her, and I am going to be taking notes. So that's Samia and Abundant Academy. Welcome. Thank you.
So great to be here. Thank you, Chels. So we're going to be talking about the business fundamentals of how to grow your brand. But from a practical standpoint, a lot of the ladies on here are doing digital downloads. That's correct. You each have your own kind of special sauce of what you are good at, and you're creating downloads for people to purchase online, on whether it's through social media or through your email lists and things like that. So for example, I wrote this book called Money Handbook back in 2020. I sent the manuscript to Chelsea, and she created an outline of digital downloads on how to invest, how to have, like, from my manual of my writings, how to budget, how to have, she even had a part of it where it was like scriptures to stand on regarding biblical finance and prosperity, and people can purchase that. So it's really cool if some of the things you can do, like if you've written a book or if you have something that you specialize in, which is why you're on this call today, Chelsea with Business in a Box can help you monetize that. So once you get to that point, you absolutely have to incorporate to be legitimate with the IRS. So it's simply an LLC, which is a limited liability company. And the number one thing you have to do is be unique, because you want to make sure nobody else has the name, like whatever you're going to call your company. So you want to avoid words like bank or insurance. Like you want it to be like a business name. And you can have a DBA if you want, which is doing business as, but it would be great to just have your brand name as your LLC. The next thing you do is you actually need a registered agent. So this is the authorized person basically to like receive legal documents. So it either can be you or your CPA or your attorney. I personally make myself as the authorized agent. You don't have to. A lot of people have really close relationships, have like family attorneys, and they just like make them that person. But if you're like Chelsea's like, yeah, we have a family attorney. So not everybody
I won't do it. I like won't do it the right way. So I know that about myself. So I have to hand it off. I will not respond.
Yeah, like it has to have, your LLC has to have like a physical address. So in the state you're of formation. So is anyone on the call in California? Okay, we have one. Jody, I know
California
you.
too.
I know. That's why I hopped. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Hi, it's so good to see you.
Good to see
Jody's
you
in
too.
the entertainment
I love your
industry in
book.
California.
I love your book.
Her husband is a producer, yes?
Yes, we both are producer directors, and we
They're
have a mental
producers
health
in California. So fun
program.
to have you on today.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you read the book and I'm glad you're with us. So once you decide who your registered agent is, the next step is you have to file articles of incorporation, articles of organization. Some states call it like a certificate of formation. And this is done through the Secretary of State. So you can literally Google whatever state you live in, put Secretary of State, Florida or California or whatnot, and you can file this LLC yourself online, and each state charges something different. So there's a wide range. Chelsea and I are in Florida. Maybe some of the other ladies on the call are as well. It's not expensive in Florida. I think it's like $120. California is $800. So there's a huge gamut of like filing this LLC. So once you file it and you do your articles of incorporation and you name who the registered agent is, which is either yourself or the attorney, you want to create something called an operating agreement. So this is really important. This is basically an internal document that lays out how your LLC is going to be managed. So you can add a spouse if you want. It's up to you because this would be considered like post-marital assets. So totally between you and the hubby, or you could just be a single member LLC. And it shows on this operating agreement, basically like the percentages that each person holds and what their responsibilities are. The next thing that you absolutely have to do is get an EIN. An EIN is an employer identification number. This is done through a different website. The EIN is done through the IRS website, and it's probably the only free thing the IRS offers. But an EIN is free. You can apply for it for free. And as long as nobody else has your name, they will approve it. So now you have done your articles of incorporation in your particular state, and you've gone on the IRS website and you've applied for your EIN, which you get back relatively quick. I think the last time I applied for it, like in 48 hours, I had an approval and an EIN already. Then once you have all that, you can open up a bank account, because when you go to the bank and you're like, hey, I want to open up a business bank account, the first thing they're going to ask you is, what's your EIN number? And you have to have those documents with you. They scan them to prove that you are who you say you are. You have to show them the operating agreement, that you're one of the managing members on the company, and that you want to be a signer. Now, if you add your husband to this LLC, he would need to be there at the bank with you, because you both would now be signers on the account, meaning, they check the signatures when things go out. Even like ACH transfers and things like that. There's like two-step factor authorization that would go to like one of your cell phones. So anyway, it's just really up to you on who you want to add to the company. In terms of like your local and your state laws, you just have to find out sales tax registration, because even with digital downloads, sales tax is required to be charged on that. In certain states, like New York charges it. Obviously, New York is like, give us all the money we can get. It's like one of the highest tax states. And so it depends on what state you operate in. But even if, like, let's say Florida doesn't charge sales tax, it doesn't matter, because if I'm selling a digital download on social media and somebody from New York buys it, I have to pay sales tax to New York. So you're probably thinking to yourself, how am I going to keep track of sales tax in all 50 states when I'm selling a product? I'm so glad you asked. So Chelsea is the expert with Shopify, all things Shopify. And you, depending on where you're selling your digital download, I'm just giving this as one example. Shopify is where most people host their websites. You can sell products on there. You can sell clothing on there. You can sell whatever you want on there. They have a whole platform where you can do something called plugins. So when you're on there, it's more, it's easier to understand what I'm saying, but I'm going to try to explain this. You can like visually see it. So let's say you have your, amyluke.com and it's hosted by Shopify. When you go on the back end of your website, there is an area on Shopify that is like, would you like to download plugins? And you can do your plugin of Instagram. You can do your plugin of Facebook. You can do a plugin of Amazon. And what that allows you to do is sell whatever's on Shopify on those platforms. They talk to each other. One of the plugins they have is sales tax. It's a company. They have a few companies. You choose one. I personally, for the cosmetics brand that my husband and I launched, we use something called Avalara, Avalara. There's a few other ones. They all do the same thing. We downloaded that plugin, and what Avalara does is it tracks all your sales in all 50 states and it pays it for you. Amazing. I'm like, yes, I love our outsourcing. So you do not need a bookkeeper to be paying $60 or $75 an hour. You do not need to be doing this yourself. It's one of the reasons I advocate so much for Shopify, because it is the best platform for e-commerce in so many ways. So that is how my recommendation would be for you to stay on top legally of paying sales tax. But I do want you to know that there is thresholds. So in most all 50 states, they do not require you to pay any sales tax until you either sell 200 items or $100,000 in sales. And it's whichever one comes first. So for a digital download, it'd probably be 200 items. If you're selling like a $17 download, what it does is it like notifies the state, like, oh, this company has sold 200 items, and it starts to look for you to start paying them. So when you incorporate the Avalara sales tax plugin, they keep track of that for you. And they're like, oh, it's time to start paying sales tax now. So like in maybe like the first week, you don't pay any sales tax. And then like after that, they start taking care of it for you. So it's just like a lot of logistics when you're doing your LLC, getting your EIN, getting your bank account set up, and by the way, the website, Canva now creates websites in like 7 minutes, like crazy. But you can
really quick.
Yeah.
On Avalara, we were getting a question. Does it pay each sale or does it pay monthly? It went directly to me. Monthly. Okay. So, do you suggest just holding that in your balance so your balance doesn't pay out? You want it to hold?
It pulls it once a month. So once a month, you're going to see a withdrawal from Avalara, and that's them paying your sales tax to whatever states it owes it to. And Avalara itself has a website. And they're like, once you incorporate the plugin and sign up, somebody emails you to like your email, your business email, or whatever email you give them. And they set up a Zoom call and they screen share with you and they set your account up with you. Like they assign you kind of like a customer service person, and they set you up because they need because you have to apply for a sales tax number in your state. So in each of your states, you get a sales tax information, which is free. And then you set it up on the back end. So there's definitely, some admin to getting the company that you want to have off the ground in the correct way, but it's totally worth the time and it's totally worth the effort so that when you are selling, it's just like taxes are being paid for you and everything is incorporated and the bank account's open and it's great. So now the digital download product is launched, or the e-course that you want, or the video course that you're doing, or whatever it is that you're selling to help moms, that's like your special sauce. Once you see this income start coming in to your bank account, it's really important 2 things to happen. You really want to be tracking your write-offs. So your income versus your expenses. The absolute easiest way to do this is QuickBooks. Do not use Excel. Don't even go there. Just do QuickBooks. It's low monthly. I don't even know what they charge a month, like $30, whatever.
19, and you can do $30. You can do like the pro version to
Yeah,
add.
like if you buy a year in advance, they give you like 20% of, I don't know, whatever. It's totally worth your time. Two things can happen when you, QuickBooks is like an online bookkeeping platform. You can do two things. It's whatever you're comfortable with. The first thing you can do, you can actually give them like online, it's all encrypted, but some people are kind of like, you know, big brother. They don't like to do this. You give your username and password to your bank account and it pulls all the transactions into their system. And then you give the username and password to your credit card, which is like your business credit card, which you need one of those, by the way. And it pulls all the transactions from your credit cards. And it does that like every 2 or 3 days. It uploads it. So when you go into QuickBooks, you're looking at all the banking and the credit card transactions on one ledger. You go in and it prompts you to categorize it. So you're like, oh, this was, you know, somebody who did graphic design. This is like advertising expense. Oh, this is income. It's money coming in from Shopify or wherever. Income, expense, income, expense. And so you're categorizing it. If you don't feel comfortable categorizing it, you can hire a bookkeeper. Most of them are $60 an hour. And honestly, they shouldn't be spending more than like 2 hours a month in the beginning on your account. Because what happens is QuickBooks is smart. Once you categorize things as income or a certain expense, when that item comes back onto the ledger, QuickBooks will automatically categorize it the way you did last time. So all you press is approve. So once you do it once, it does it for you automatically after that. So make sure you categorize it correctly so you're not going back fixing like, whoops, that wasn't advertising, that was legal expense. You know what I'm saying? Like make sure you choose the right one on the first try because you can go back and edit. So QuickBooks is really wonderful because it also tells you immediately what your profit and loss is after each month. Like your P&L statement is your profits and your loss in your balance sheet, and it gives you an idea. Now, here's the thing. With digital downloads and e-courses and the things that abundant management is teaching you, you don't really have a lot of expenses. The main expenses you're going to have is running ads on Meta, graphic designers, and editors, because you're essentially a content creator at this point. You are a content creator, but instead of being like, these are the new Amazon finds of the week, you're like, let me help you make your life better. You're like the Tony Robbins of content creators, essentially.
I love
So
that.
your hair, your makeup, your nails, any outfits that you wear while you're being filmed, like if you buy outfits to film, write-offs. But you have to show your face on social at least 3 times a week to claim those write-offs. You can write your life off. It's fantastic. It's like almost as good as real estate because realtors
Can I write my
do it.
house off if I start doing like all of my filming of like my move? Can I write off my house or
Yes.
aspects of it? Really?
Yes. You can do a
Oh,
percentage of the square feet of your house. You
looks
already,
like that's what we're gonna do.
you can do percentage. You have to ask Cookie Finance about that or whoever you're dealing with, but you could do like working, like all of you ladies are obviously working from home. Let's say the space you use to create your online platform or the downloads and things that like Chelsea's where she's sitting right now is where she does most of her calls, her Zoom calls. Let's say that space is like whatever, 10% of her house. So that means 10% of her mortgage can be written off as like office and content creation workspace within reason. You never want to do like a red flag. If you use your car for anything, we don't really use, I mean, a lot of it's from home, but if you do use your car, you can write a percentage of that off as well. Or once your company starts doing really well, you can do something called a car reimbursement, where the company reimburses you a certain amount of money each month for your car because you're using your car. Like for me, my husband, Chelsea mentioned, we launched a skincare company. My husband has like 20 years of experience in beauty, by the way. It didn't just like come out of nowhere. Like his whole family's from New York. They were in the salon and day spa industry. When I met him, they had salon and day spas. Everything got sold in 2020. I was in fashion. So like he was in beauty, I was in fashion. So we always wanted to launch our own products. So one of the things we do with Lino, it's called Lino Cosmetics, is we do content days where we'll just film for like 4 hours and do photos, and it's like content for the month. And I will get my hair done and get my makeup done and get my nails done and like get some outfits for the day. And like all of that is write-offs. And we drive places, obviously, like on set. And we have like a social media crew that helps us. Obviously, I do not know how to edit. I have a lot of talents, but that is not one of them. So it's a write-off, just like so many, like whatever, a couple hundred miles a month goes towards Lino. You really want to start paying attention. Like, what resources are you using? Your cell phone, like what are you using for this business that can be a write-off? Because once you start to bring the income in, you want to lower the taxable income as much as you can. Like you don't want to make, $500,000 this year and then pay 40% taxes on that, which is the bracket $500,000 is a 40% tax. So you want to get that down to like 20%, 18 to 20, which is absolutely doable, but you have to be creative, but honest about the write-offs. So something else you can do is if you have children, there is a couple different things, but there's different accounts that you can open for them. So if you have kids, you can do an UTMA account for them or a Roth IRA account for them in their name, or a 529 account, which is like an education account. But if you wanted to incorporate your child in your business, okay, you can pay them. But they have to be like contributing. So you would have to use them as part of your marketing, or they would have to be in some of the static images that you put on Instagram and Facebook, on socials. They'd have to be in some of the videos, like they have to be present to be paid. So if you incorporate your kids, you could pay them, $1,000 a month to be a model, to be a contributor, educational contributor to your company. And so, in the way that you pay them that $1,000 is a custodial account at the bank. You open up a joint account, and that money is not taxed. So it's tax-free money to your child. It has to be less than $14,000 a year. So you can give them up to 14. So like $1,000 a month would be like 12 grand. So you could do like, whatever, 1,300 a month if you really wanted to like max it. They pay no taxes. You, as the business owner, it is a deduction on your taxable income because it's a payroll expense. Mm-hmm. So for easy numbers, you throw the $1,000 or the $500, whatever the company can afford, $1,000 a month into this joint account. They are present on the social, they're present on your videos, and you're like, okay, cool. Like they're making 12 grand a year. Like, what am I going to do with this money? I'm so glad you thought about that. You're not spending it is what you're not going to do with the money. What you can do with the money, which is way better, is a couple things. You can use it to pay for private school. You can use it to be deposited into a 529 account, which is an educational account that they can use when they go to college. And you can use it to deposit it into something called an UTMA account, which is a uniform trust account. It's kind of like a joint account that you can buy stocks in. If you're like, I just want to leave this money in this joint account and buy real estate with it and use it as a down payment, you can do that too. So you can just keep paying them until that account gets to like 30 or 40 grand. And then that money can be used as a down payment, and you can get like a duplex or a quadplex, something like that by the time, they're 15 or 16 or 18. And it's from monies you got a write-off from that they didn't pay taxes on that is now being used as a down payment. So there's ways to pay your children where it is a deduction off of your company because it's payroll expense, but they're not taxed because it's under a certain threshold. W-2 income, I think it's under 14,500 has no taxable. because the government's like, well, if you're making less than that, we're not going to charge you. Like, thanks for the handout. I'm going to use that for my kids instead. That's kind of how that goes. So that's the goal, is we really want to be able to support the women that sign up on Abundant Management to be able to share their giftings and their talents through e-courses, through digital downloads, through creating a brand for themselves so that they can then help other women do the same thing. And a lot of this is done from the computer. And there's a couple websites. One is Upwork, UPWORK. The other one's Fiverr, FIVERR. And it's just, these are platforms that have graphic designers, editors, and content writers, copywriters. They're all over the world. I have found some really great ones on Upwork. The person that made our logo was from Italy. I had somebody make me a pitch deck because we're pitching our product to some retailers. Please, Jesus, to get on the shelves nationwide. Clearly, you need a pitch deck for that. I was like, no problem. I'll have that in a jiffy for you. I'm like, Brazil, I need your help. There's a lot of people on there from like the Philippines. You know, you can just kind of, and they have they're like rated, like there's ratings and reviews on them. And they also have examples of things that they've done. I mean, some of these people are $5 an hour. Like, it's ridiculous, but you want to sift through, and like, sometimes it's worth paying somebody $15 an hour because like you get way better work done. And then once you find someone you like I know Chelsea kind of found this amazing person and he edits all her videos for social. Like, you find that one person and you're like, you're my person. And eventually you could maybe just be like, hey, I'm just going to give you like $100 a week flat. And like, can you just like edit these 40 videos? And they're like happy to have the income, the steady income. So in the Philippines, particularly, their average income is $10 a day, totally normal. They make $10 a day. So a lot of them have gone to school and have learned how to do things so that they can make $10 an hour. And it's like a complete game changer for their families. Like, when you go buy a house in the Philippines, it's like 20 grand. Like, it's just, you don't think about it because we're in America and we just are like, that doesn't compute. But there is talent in other countries that is affordable for someone like you who can't be like, you know, Apple or Tesla, and they have like these huge teams of creative people that do all the content for them and the social media and big salaries. Like, not necessary. You can absolutely do this from the comfort of your home, but you do need to be resourceful and have a vision. And it's really important. Alexia, who is one of our thought leaders and the one that Chelsea mentioned that has gone viral, she's really good at branding. So once you do the business in a box and it comes with the 3 months of coaching, one of the things Alexia does is she dials in on the branding, because you really want to have a clear message of your skill set and what you're offering, and a funnel with keywords so that people buy it. And then you start, and then they tell their friends about it. And then it starts to be like a domino effect. I'm just looking at the chat right now to see if there was any questions. Ashley asked, is this just for social postings or online course videos also for kids? You can incorporate your kids in your online courses as well. You can incorporate them in anything, but they have to contribute to be able to be paid. So like, I have a friend who flips houses and he brings his daughter in for demo day to clean up. He like literally brings the broom and the mop and all the rags, and he pays her. He pays her a lot for that day. Probably too much, but it goes into the joint account. And then from that joint account, he puts money in her 529, or he leaves it there because he puts her name on the properties for like the next property that they buy. So there's just like, and she doesn't pay any taxes on it. He makes sure he doesn't pay her more than like the threshold. And then he's getting the write-off of the deduction. So the other thing you can do if you need a really good write-off, the IRS has something called Section 179, and it has to do with cars. And if your car weighs over a certain amount, like 6,000 pounds, which is a ton of them. Like, if you Google like what cars weigh over 6,000 pounds, it isn't just like Land Rovers. Like, it's some of the Chevys, some of the big Cadillacs do. There's a couple of the Lexuses as well. You can write off the entire amount of the car that year, even though you obviously didn't pay for the whole thing. It's called a bonus depreciation. And so you can do the write-off, which is why you see at the end of the year, a lot of wealthy people buying jets, yachts, and fancy cars, is because they get the immediate write-off. Like you can kind of fake it having money in certain places because you can just lease and rent stuff. You can even like rent designer clothing and bags and send it back, but you can't fake a jet. Like that's real money. And so when people are like making a lot of money, they'll buy like a $5 million jet and they get the full amount as a write-off, even though clearly we all know they just put the down payment down and finance the rest. So there are ways. Amy, I can't wait for my yacht too, girl. Invite me on yours when you get it. Let's do this. So
That's
there
hilarious.
are ways to think big. Like I want you to be like, when can I buy that car? That's the first mark, is when do I need to have that $120,000 write-off of that Land Rover against my income this year? So you really want to partner with like a CPA who gets it. Most CPAs who understand these types of write-offs are CPAs who work with realtors and work with developers, because anything because Trump is in real estate, right? So he has obviously use the tax code to his benefit, which is why he pays zero in taxes, but also he's trying to put things into place that help the real estate industry, because they're like redoing it right now and it'll probably go into effect next year, I would imagine, but it's going to be even more helpful. Like he wants to get rid of like income tax. I don't even know how he's going to do that. Maybe with import fees. I have no idea. But the point is, like, the next 4 years, it will be good in the sense of keeping more money in your pocket and having more write-offs. So you really want to not be with like an 85-year-old CPA. You want to be interviewing people who like work with realtors, work with business owners, and aren't going to give you pushback when you're like, hey, I need to go, like I'm showing, when he says to you, hey, you owe like 60 grand in taxes, be like, no, what can I do to bring that down? Like, do I need to go put a down payment on a car to get the whole $120,000 write-off? And you want them to be like, yes, that's a great idea. Not like, well, let me check that code and make sure. Like, you need someone who knows what they're doing.
So maybe that's Cookie
clients
Finance, because Cookie Finance's entire platform,
is
they've
for
been brought to
content
us,
creators.
is for
Yeah.
content creators that get it. So Cookie Finance,
Yeah.
if you tell them that Abundant Management has
Give
referred
you
you,
a discount, right?
yeah, I think it's going to be like it's a discount, but it's affordable. I need to actually officially hire them, and I can reference it. But I know that multiple, Amanda uses them, Shannon uses them, a lot of our thought leaders use them, because they're affordable. I think it's like $200 or $280 a month or something in comparison, and they will manage everything for you. But they understand, like Samia is saying, they get it when it comes to the write-offs, because they will be encouraging you, write off your hair, write off this, write off your laptop, write off your supplement purchases because you're promoting those products, right? All of X, Y, and Z, your Canva, all of the things, because they understand what it takes. The one of the founders is a content creator. So I would definitely put them on our list to interview.
The Cookie Finance, yeah. So
Cookie Finance.
Amanda put in the chat some ideas of things that your child can do. And I love some of this because Amanda's a full-time content creator and she has like junior content assistant, voiceover contributor, product tester. Come on, product tester. Let's go, Amanda. Creative design, help with art, help with layout, research assistant. Like, I love this. Just give your kids some stuff to do. So
That's good.
And then Jody wanted to know, okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they have to be under 18? They don't have to be under, they could be 2 years old and you could be using them as like your baby prop for your baby clothing. As long as they have a social security number, they can get paid. You just need, if they're under 18, it has to be a joint account because they're considered a minor. So it's that part of it. But that's your
If they're
answer.
over 18,
You could still do it.
Yeah.
As long as they're
okay.
As long as they're like making under that 14.5 as a W-2, there's no required taxes to be paid on it. So if he like has another job, but even then, like, even if you were just paying him and it was in addition to whatever he was making, it's still a great way for you to get a write-off because it lowers your taxable income because it's a payroll expense. And you can like give him things to do.
Yeah. And what is this officially called? Like if you were going to talk to your CPA about this specific thing,
It's
what would it be
literally saying, I
called?
want to put my kid on payroll.
Okay.
You're adding
Yeah.
your child to your payroll. Yeah.
Okay.
That's really it. But you're limiting how much they can make. The purpose of putting the ceiling on how much they can make is so that they don't have to pay taxes.
Right.
You can pay
And
them whatever.
if they're getting a full-time salary that's above that, could you do a side job that maybe pays less just so you get that non-tax part? There's a portion maybe that you could have non-taxable.
Does your son have a job?
No, he actually works for us, but he's going to make more than that amount. Wondering if I could, just wondering if you could split jobs, right? So he's got one job. I don't even know if it's worth it at that point, but to have that income, maybe to have another job
So the IRS is
pays
going to look
less.
at the full picture of what his
Okay.
total income is for the year. So it doesn't matter if his total
Doesn't
income
matter.
is over the
Okay.
14, he's going to pay taxes on it. However, you as the business owner are getting the deduction.
Yeah.
Like anytime
Exactly. Okay.
you have employees, you get payroll tax deductions. It comes
Right.
off
That's true.
your
Yeah.
P&L. So it's
Okay.
helpful for you. And it's great because as a parent, you can mentor them and kind of be their boss, like one of their first bosses, which I think can be really healthy and really great. Like if they're going to make mistakes, it's best for them to do it under your authority. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
You're
I
probably
do.
gonna respond in a much more hopefully loving, correct way than like corporate America.
Yeah.
So thank you for putting your input. And Amanda, thank you for throwing that in the chat. I love all those ideas. Maybe I'll have my 5-year-old do my next voiceover. She has the
You
cutest voice.
should. It's so
Yeah.
cute. Amanda did that for her digital download, and so many of her cookbooks sold. Like it was so cute. It was really cute.
Those cute little voices. So I wanted to, we have like 15 minutes left. I just want to like open it up for Q&A. Everyone's clear on the LLC, the EIN, get the bank account, operating agreement, accounts for your kids. The other thing, Tony, who's not on the call today, she's a part of the group. She had privately messaged me on Instagram and she wanted to know, like, she has a lot of kids and her in-laws and her parents and things like that are always just like buying them gifts. And she's like, I would so much rather have money. Like, yeah, I don't blame you. So one of the things I actually talk about this in Money Handbook, the book I wrote, and in that e-course that's on Business in a Box. I have a 5-module teaching course that I highly recommend you girls watch, or at least listen to it. It's done in like a TV studio with students. But I talk about this because I do this. I married an Italian and they're like obsessed with Christmas, like obsessed. And they just love lavishing my kids with gifts, which they play with for a month and then they're over it. And then I am like, it's clutter city. So I started asking them to do half the amount in a check written out to my child and the other half in gifts. So like they're happy. My mother-in-law's happy because she's like, sees them open the gifts. I'm happy because I can add the money to their account. And I do this with my family as well. And I do this for birthdays and Christmas. And I'm like literally about to do it for Easter because you don't even want to know the baskets my mother-in-law just made for these children's for Easter. I'm like, what is happening? Why did you spend $500 on like, I can't. So it's going to be incorporated to Easter next year. She just doesn't know it yet. I'm like 50-50 people. So you really need to have like brave conversation around money with your family. Even if they're like, hey, my budget's $100, I feel silly giving you 50, don't feel silly. $50 a year over 18 years is going to be like a couple $1,000s instead of goodwill being donated these toys. Like something's
So
better than nothing.
my mom is a single mom who like, she's amazing. She works in a billing department. She still works. She makes like $18 an hour. Like she's just on it and like very strategic. And she will send me $20 whenever she's like, she skips her coffee budget or whatever. And she will send me $20. She's like, I'm sorry, it's so little. I'm like, Mom, you don't understand. It compounds. And the thought behind it is so responsible and so kind that like, because I did have that brave conversation after you taught me. And like, it's turned into like, $1,000 over the time. I mean, I have 3 kids. She's like doing $20 per kid. I mean, it's actually quite an expense, but she's contributed almost the most out of all the grandparents.
That's
And she's
crazy.
just staying consistent,
You know why,
she's just,
Chelsea? Because you're her retirement plan.
yeah, well, I mean, should be.
She's like, it has a return in like 30 years. Chelsea will take care of me. Let's be real.
That's hilarious.
Um,
I did
those are
want
my
to ask
thoughts.
you before we open it fully, I did want to ask you about investing in an upfront in a business. So when it comes to somebody's income, they're wanting to stretch higher, they want to build something. There's a lot of AI opportunity. There's opportunities like this where it's like, here, don't waste your money on all of like the excess. We're going to hold your hand like this, like these programs are really important. But how much should somebody really realistically invest in a new business? The digital product business is a lot of low overhead, but like realistic for somebody, I don't want them to get over their skis and then not be able to maintain it. Like, what should somebody anticipate budgeting realistically? Not the numbers, but percentages, or what would you suggest?
So the digital is really time. So it's something that, depending on what your job is, like some people on the call have corporate jobs and they do this on their lunch break. They do this when their kids are napping. They do this after the kids go to bed at 7. Some of the people on this call are doing this full time and they're putting in 8 to 10 hours a day. Like the thing with creating content, it's time. Where the expense comes in is when you put ad money behind your product, because Meta can totally, okay, Meta's a great place because that is where your audience is, which Meta is Facebook and Instagram. So when you're running ads, it runs it on both platforms at the same time. You run you have one area that you're paying them and creating it, and then it goes on both platforms. So if you have like a physical product, you could sell it on Amazon as well, and you could run ads on Amazon, but digital wise, like Meta's where you want to be. So you could do anything from $10 a day to $1,000 a day. I mean, obviously the bigger companies like Procter and Gamble and all these beauty brands and clothing brands, they have assigned reps from Facebook because they're spending $1 million a month. So there is a huge gamut of advertising spend on this platform because nobody watches TV anymore. Nobody's watching commercials except the Super Bowl once a year. So this is where companies are advertising, and they are sending their products to content creators and paying content creators and then also running ads. So this is really like Meta is the platform where brands can push out their message. But before you run those ads, you really want to test what works. And that's going to be like friends and family and the current audience you have. Like, I wouldn't recommend throwing a bunch of money down the Meta toilet until you are honed in and your conversion rate from when people click on your funnel and add it to cart. Like if 10 people, it doesn't matter the number, it's the percentage of conversion. So like, let's say you launch your digital product for people to download and use, and you can see 25 people went to the landing page, but if only one of them purchased it, we have to change your messaging. But if 25 people went to your landing page and 10 people purchased it, I would be like, yes, you can put Meta money behind that. So you kind of want to test it with the social media audience that you have. And then even when you do start Meta, there's people on Upwork and Fiverr that can run it for you. And there's ad agencies, and you could do it yourself. Like Shannon, who's one of the thought leaders, she's really great at ads. She's been doing them for years and years and years. It's like she pretty much like ends up firing every ad agency, just does it herself. But some ad agencies are revenue share. So instead of let's say paying them $1,000 a week to run your ads, they just do like an 8 to 10% rev share. Just whatever you sell, they take a percentage, which for moms first starting out is actually the better model. And then some agencies, I have interviewed so many because of obviously I'm selling a cosmetic product. Anywhere, I mean, crazy, anywhere from like $6,000 a month to $13,000 a month. Like it's just there is no, you know how you go to the dentist and you're like, okay, like cleaning your teeth is like $130 pretty much wherever you go. Okay, no. Ad agencies are like, what? There is no, like, how are some of you 8% of sales? Some of you are 1,500 a week, and some of you are 3,000 a week. And it's literally everyone's using, like, there is no special sauce. Like, everyone's using the business suite on Facebook, which talks to Instagram. Like, it's all, you're literally inputting the same thing on the same platform. And they'll be like, oh, well, we have like a designated Facebook person. I'm like, cool. Do they write the algorithm? Are they going to like push my ad out? No, they're just there when you need help. Like a technical person, because you're spending so much money on ads because you're representing all these brands. So anyway, I wouldn't put money behind that yet. And when you get to the point where you do want to invest, you want to start with $10 a day, 20, and then 30. And then eventually, truly, you want to work your way up to $100 a day. And the idea is you're spending $100 a day, but you're making 400. So it's called a ROAS, a return on advertisement spend, ROAS, ROAS. So your return on advertisement spend, you really want that to be between like 2.5 and 4. Like digital is usually higher than physical products. But that's your sweet spot. Some brands are like 6x. They're like the unicorns, but most of Meta is like 2.5, 3, truly, like 90% of it. So, and it's no big deal. You're like, oh my gosh, $100 a day. How am I going to afford $3,000 a month? It's like, well, if you're making 400 a day, it doesn't really matter. And then, it ends up being a reinvestment. So the push is in the beginning where you're just coming out of pocket, which I wouldn't do until you have like a solidified conversion rate, which is the friends and family and the people that organically are following you. And the more you post, the more followers you're going to be getting. So the more you can build your following, they're almost like your test. It's like research and development. Your
And
test
then
market.
if you're hosting your courses with Abundant Academy, remember this. So if you have your business in a box, if you are hosting your products with us, if you're with your course, you can still host it on other platforms. But a good way that we actually had a 3-hour meeting about with the executive board, literally Shannon, Alexia, Mandy,
Not exaggerating.
no, that was so, we did it.
We did it.
We spent like half of that time talking about, okay, how do we maximize ad spend? And we are up to almost $150 a day. And how do we relay that to our moms and clients that are just starting out? Because it is the hardest part. It's a first almost year of like no return and figuring it out and like fumbling. So when you're a part of the academy and you have your course on there, you're getting that push and you're getting that leverage of like, okay, we'll start when we start onboarding you guys as experts in your specific categories. You'll see like I was explaining this to Tammy yesterday, you'll see your SEO start ranking because we will start posting about you regularly. We'll start having you on YouTube regularly. You'll be in our meta ad push. So that way, when you go to do your own ad spend, your optimization gets maximized because your exposure is you're still getting a lot of organic traffic from being a part of the academy in our ad spend. Does that make sense? So that's what we're building behind the scenes that you don't always see. So we're just really excited about that.
Yes. So like abundant management, Chelsea, he has ad spend. So when you are creating these digital products and e-courses and they end up on abundant management, she's literally pushing your product on ad spend that you're not spending. Right now, it's business in a box and it's abundant money and things like that. But as more moms come up with their specific genre that they are, great at, it will go on abundant management, which will then be in the organic cycle of us talking about it and putting ad spend behind it, which is amazing. If you ask me.
Does anybody have, it is amazing. We're trying to figure it out because we all started. So as our own entrepreneurs on our own, trying to figure this thing out, this machine out, and we came together. We're like, okay, there's gotta be something better.
Yeah.
So why don't we surround ourselves with people smarter than us and just figure it out so that way other moms can skip the line. Is there any direct questions that you have for Samia before we fully close out? Because we're running out of time. You ready?
We feel good. Somebody was asking earlier, when can they listen to this again? You email them the playback.
Yeah, so it should be on YouTube.
Michelle asked, Michelle
tomorrow.
Green.
Yeah, it should be on YouTube tomorrow or the next day. Do you know, can we startup grants?
It depends what state you're in. But they do offer them, like SBA, Small Business Administration, does have startup grants. I would imagine they get hundreds of thousands of applicants and they probably pick like 100, but I would find out. There's also some for women-owned businesses as well, specifically. So I would look into the women and the small business and see. And I would think between the two of them, just apply. You obviously need your EIN and all that information, but it's worth doing. Let's see, another question. Do you pay yourself and take out the appropriate? Pamela, I have an LLC operating as an S Corp. I'm gonna write that in the chat. When you operate as an S Corp, you pay the least amount of taxes.
So you still have the protection of the LLC. Okay. Oh, I meant to ask. So a lot of people put corporate charges on their personal card, and you talked about like you need a business card. It's called, then they pierce the veil, then your LLC protection doesn't matter anymore. So if somebody sues you, right? If you're putting personal monies on a personal,
You just want to keep everything separate. Like you want to have the credit card done for your business account and keep it separate than your personal.
Okay. And then what should be on an operating agreement?
Oh, an operating agreement is just going to simply have like the members of the company. And it's going to have what your role is and the percentage that you own. But ChatGPT can give you a basic operating agreement. That's where I would pull it from, or like LegalZoom. Yes, you can get a debit card with your business, but I wouldn't, because it goes straight to your checking account. I would only do a credit card because then you have 30 days to pay it. So you charge something and you have 30 days to sell stuff and then pay your credit card off. So it gives you the net 30 when you have a credit card, and it builds credit. It builds like business credit. If you ever want to do like a line of credit in the future, you have to show that you charged and paid on time.
Okay.
You're welcome.
You're awesome. This has been so great. I don't know. I love talking to you. I think you're so awesome. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. Okay, I don't think anybody else has any additional questions. For those of you that don't have Abundant Money, I put the link in. I can put the link back. Ooh, people are wanting to know, when are you coming back? She's always in the chat. I just don't always call on her. I don't know. Next month you'll be here, right? You'll be leading a session for us. She's responding. Okay. Does anybody have direct questions other than that? Next month, Samia will be coming back. I added you her freebie. It's actually a really good example to look at how we did a freebie to template. So I can put it back in here as well. Everything in there, the freebie is an actual like net worth Excel sheet for a snapshot for your personal expenses. I suggest using like Rocket Money, QuickBooks, all of that stuff. But if you just want something to like plug and play and see like, oh, okay, this is how my overall finances and investments looking, it's a great Excel sheet. I actually use it on a quarterly basis to talk with my husband in our quarterly business meetings. I love it. So it's in the freebie. And then we have her generational wealth building legacy in the digital product that you can see as well. And it goes through everything that Samia said, like you can literally use all of the digital downloads for building your family legacy. So it takes all the spiritual principles, gratitude journals, give backs, in addition to how to actually build generational wealth, investing in stocks. Her course is in abundant money, like we said. And for right now, if you get abundant money, I will give you business in a box in 3 months of coaching. So if you get that on today's call, if you haven't already, I would grab it, get business in a box. We have another rollout that Alexia, Samia, Amanda, and I are working on. Amy said it's so worth it. Where we're actually going to be testing it. And I want to know if this would be of interest to you. Next week, I'm considering doing a Canva code tutorial where we're going to take you through how to actually build your website. And then we're going to be offering for those that have business in a box and they like have the abundant money business in a box, we're going to be offering doing it for you. So we're going to have like an affordable option of like getting it done for you. So in your brand voice and in all of that. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't, to get abundant money. I will unlock your business in a box. So that way, by this time next week, you can have your business bot built out. You can have your business ready to go. And that way, when we go through and build our websites together, that'll be really cool. I figured out how to make Canva code functional for like, it's crazy. So it's very exciting. I made one for Tammy yesterday. It wasn't functional. But on our 90-minute call at the very end, she gave me her digital products that she built with the business in a bot, because she has our business in a box that she built with her business bot. And we made a website from that was like pretty operational and almost exactly what you had been picturing, right? When you saw it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I wanted. So cool. I told Amy about it too. Yes, it's amazing. All right. So that's what we'll be doing next week, is we'll be going through Canva code. Make sure you grab your abundant money. And then I am so grateful to you. I am so thankful for you to keep showing up. I'm so proud of you. All of you showing up in your business, in your motherhood, in your life. Like, it is amazing. Thank you for being a part of this community. Remember to like, share, promote all of your friends that we have in this community now. Join us. You'll see I tag a lot of our content creators. If you tag me in any of your digital products that you're launching, any of your business products, anything, I make sure to at least share it to our stories or collaborate with you, depending. So make sure that you get active and like join in with everybody and like and share. So that way people's following can start gaining engagement, and you can support each other. Thank you so much for all of your time. There's not anything else. I think we're going to let it rip. Jody, do I owe you an email? I sent you a message. I think I might. Did you email me and I didn't email you back? I am so sorry.
Yes, and I have one
She's
question
like, yeah?
before I sign.
Yes.
What?
What's your question?
Yes, I just have one. Yes, I would love I have one really little hurdle that I just want to discuss through to see if this would be a right fit, because I think we're just a unique program out here. So yes, I would love an email back. That would be amazing.
I am
Okay.
so sorry. Do you have like 15 minutes after this call?
Yeah,
To talk?
I do.
Okay. So we'll just chat. We'll jump back on, and I want to talk to you.
Okay.
Here's my, for those that don't have it, here's my cell phone number. if you guys have any questions or anything like that, most of you have it, you feel free to text me. I don't always respond, but I will respond between 9 and 10. So make sure I will be getting back to you between 9 and 10 a.m. in the morning. But
Great.
you are welcome to text me and communicate with me that way if you have any questions. And everybody have a beautiful day. Have a blessed day. I will talk to you later.